She looked at me mid-argument and said, "Let's be honest. You need me more than I need you. So if you don't behave properly, I will replace you." I said nothing. Next day, I canceled her phone, car payment, health insurance, everything under my name. She called from a friend's phone panicking. I said, "Find your replacement," and hung up. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. And if you have your own story to share, send it to me. My contact info is in the description below. I'd love to feature it in an upcoming video. Thanks. I'm sitting in my new living room right now. It's quiet. There's no reality TV blasting at max volume, no pile of Sephora bags cluttering the hallway, and no tension thick enough to choke on. For the first time in 3 years, my bank account is actually growing instead of hemorrhaging, and my resting heart rate has dropped about 10 beats per minute. But to explain how I got here, and the absolute nuclear demolition job I had to pull to achieve this peace, you have to understand the dynamic between me, 29M, and my ex. Let's call her Vanessa, 27F. I'm a software engineer. I do well. I'm not buying private jets, but I make the kind of money where you don't really look at the price of groceries. I grew up with nothing, so financial security is my love language. When I love someone, I want to make their life easier. I want to take the weight off. Vanessa was decorative. That sounds harsh, but looking back, I realized that's exactly how she viewed herself. She was an aspiring lifestyle influencer, which in our relationship meant she posted photos of the dinners I bought, the vacations I paid for, and the apartment I rented, all captioned with things like #bossbabe or #selfmade. I didn't mind at first. I loved her. She was charismatic, stunning, and when things were good, she made me feel like the king of the world. I fell into the provider trap. I took pride in paying for everything. I covered the rent on our luxury 2-bedroom downtown. I put her on my premium health insurance plan because she had none. When her old Honda died, I didn't just help her fix it. I leased a brand new Mercedes C-Class because she said she needed it for her image. Crucially, and this is the detail that matters most for what happens later, I put the lease in my name because her credit score was in the low 500s. I added her as an authorized driver. I also added her to my phone plan, unlimited everything, obviously, and gave her a supplementary credit card for emergencies and household expenses. For 2 years, the household expenses slowly morphed into Vanessa's wardrobe and spa expenses. Whenever I brought it up, she would spin it around on me. She'd say things like, "You know I'm building a brand. You have to spend money to make money. Why are you being so cheap? You make plenty." If I pushed back, she'd withhold affection. She'd go cold. She'd make me feel like I was a miserly accountant trying to clip the wings of a beautiful butterfly. So, like an idiot, I'd apologize. I'd smooth it over. I'd pay the bill. I taught her that her presence was worth more than my labor. I created a monster. The shift from ungrateful to hostile happened about 6 months ago. She stopped saying thank you. She started criticizing my job. "It's so boring. You just stare at screens all day." My clothes, "You dress like a dad." And my hobbies. She started treating me less like a partner and more like an employee who was underperforming. The breaking point was last Tuesday. I had just come off a brutal 60-hour week. I was exhausted. I walked into the apartment and tripped over a stack of boxes in the entryway. 4 pairs of designer boots. I checked the notification on my phone. A $3,200 charge on the supplementary card. I walked into the living room. Vanessa was on the couch, face mask on, scrolling through TikTok. She didn't look up. "Hey," I said, trying to keep my voice even. "What's with the boots?" We talked about the credit card limit. She sighed, a long, exaggerated sound, like I was a toddler asking for a cookie before dinner. She finally looked up, annoyance written all over her face. "They were on sale, and I need them for the Aspen trip next month." "We aren't going to Aspen, Vanessa. I'm working." "No, you're working," she corrected. "I'm going with Sarah and the girls. You're paying for the Airbnb, remember? We discussed this." We had absolutely not discussed this. "I am not paying for you and your friends to go to Aspen while I work to pay off your boots," I said. It was the first time in months I had put my foot down that firmly. The air in the room changed instantly. She sat up, peeling the face mask off. Her eyes went cold. This wasn't the usual pouty Vanessa. This was something darker. "Excuse me," she said. "You heard me. The spending stops. The trips stop. You need to contribute, Vanessa." I'm not an ATM. If you want to go to Aspen, get a job and pay for it." She laughed. It was a dry, humorless sound. She stood up and walked over to me, stopping just inside my personal space. She looked me up and down with a look of pure, unadulterated pity. "You really don't get it, do you?" she said softly. "Get what? You think because you pay the bills, you have the power here." She shook her head, smirking. "Money is the easy part. Any boring guy with a degree can make money. But this," she gestured to herself, her face, her body. "This is rare. You're lucky to even be in the room with me. My friends ask me all the time why I'm with you. You're boring. You're too safe. You're average." I stood there stunned. My blood was boiling, but my exterior was freezing over. I didn't say a word. I just watched her dig her own grave. She took my silence for submission. She stepped closer, poking me in the chest with a manicured nail. "Let's be honest, Mark," she said, looking me dead in the eye. "You need me more than I need you. I bring the status. I bring the life. You just pay for the ticket. So if you don't behave properly, I will replace you." She let that hang in the air. "There are 10 guys in my DMs right now who would kill to pay for that Aspen trip," she added. "Remember that next time you want to lecture me about boots." I stared at her. For a moment, I waited for the anger to make me scream. I waited for the urge to fight, to argue, to list everything I've done for her. But it didn't come. Instead, a strange, calm clarity washed over me. It was like a switch flipped in the breaker box of my brain. The love didn't fade, it evaporated. The attraction didn't wane, it turned to dust. I looked at her, and I didn't see my girlfriend. I saw a liability. I saw a bad investment. I saw a squatter. She mistook my silence for defeat. She smirked, patted my cheek condescendingly, and turned back to the couch. "I'm ordering sushi," she threw over her shoulder. "Don't worry, I'll put it on the card." "Okay," I said. My voice was steady, monotone. I walked past her, went into the bedroom, and closed the door. I didn't sleep. I laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to her laugh on the phone with her friends in the other room. She was probably telling them how she put me in my place, how she secured the Aspen trip, how I was wrapped around her finger. She had told me she could replace me. She had explicitly stated that our relationship was a transaction. I pay, she provides the privilege of her company. Okay, I thought, if it's a transaction, then I can terminate the contract. I waited until 2 a.m. when I was sure she was asleep. I got up and walked silently into the living room. Her purse was on the counter. I opened it and took the spare key to the Mercedes, the one I paid $780 a month for. I put it in my pocket. Then, I sat down at my laptop and opened a spreadsheet. I didn't do this out of rage. I did it with the cold, meticulous precision of a forensic accountant. I pulled up the list of every single thing in her life that was tied to my name. The car, the insurance, the phone, the apartment lease, the authorized user credit cards, the Netflix, the Spotify, the Amazon Prime. She said I needed her. She said she could replace me. I decided to give her the opportunity to prove it. I typed out a to-do list for the morning. It was going to be a busy day. I left the apartment at 6:30 a.m. Vanessa rarely woke up before 10 a.m., especially after a night of manifesting, scrolling Instagram until 2 a.m. I showered in the guest bathroom, dressed in my best suit, usually reserved for client meetings, and packed a single duffel bag with my essentials: laptop, documents, passport, and a week's worth of clothes. I walked out to the parking garage. My modest sedan was parked next to the white Mercedes C300 I leased for her. It looked sleek under the fluorescent lights. I pulled the spare key from my pocket, unlocked it, and got in. It smelled like her vanilla perfume and entitlement. I didn't steal it. You can't steal your own car. My name was the only one on the lease. I drove it out of the garage and across town to my office building, which has secure, badge access underground parking. I parked it in a corner spot on the lowest level, locked it, and walked away. Step 1 complete. Asset secured. I went to a coffee shop around the corner from my office, ordered a black coffee, and opened my laptop. It was 7:15 a.m. The administrative slaughter began. First, the credit cards. I logged into my Amex portal. Authorized user, Vanessa. I clicked Remove Cardholder. Are you sure? The screen asked. Yes. Status, canceled. I did the same for the Visa. Next, the digital subscriptions. I changed the password to Netflix. It logged out all devices. I did the same for Spotify, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. Petty? Maybe. But she said she brought the life, and I just paid for the ticket. I figured she could provide her own entertainment now. Then, the phone. I logged into Verizon. I didn't cancel the line immediately. That takes time. Instead, I selected the suspend service option for her device. Reason for suspension? I selected device lost or stolen. Effective immediately. Finally, the nuclear option, the apartment. I waited until 9 a.m. when the leasing office opened. I walked in and sat down with the property manager, a nice woman named Brenda who had seen me pay the rent on time for 2 years. "Hey Mark, everything okay?" she asked. "I need to break the lease, Brenda." She looked surprised. "Oh, you guys have 6 months left. The penalty is pretty steep. It's 2 months rent plus the forfeiture of the deposit. 2 months rent was $6,400. A lot of money. But compared to the cost of staying with someone who despised me, it was a bargain. "I'll write the check right now," I said. "I'm moving out today. I understand Vanessa is still in the unit. I'm removing my name from the renewal. Since I'm the only one who meets the 3x income requirement, I'm guessing she'll need to requalify or vacate in 30 days. Brenda grimaced. She knew Vanessa. She knew Vanessa didn't have income. "Yeah, if you take your name off, she has to reapply solo. If she can't show proof of income, we have to issue a notice to vacate. Are you sure you want to do this?" I've never been more sure of anything. I wrote the check. I signed the papers. I was officially homeless, $6,000 poorer, and absolutely free. I went to my office, turned off my phone, and got to work. I actually had a productive morning. I coded for 3 hours straight without a single interruption asking me to PayPal someone money for a juice cleanse. I turned my phone back on at 11:45 a.m. My screen lit up like a slot machine. 14 missed calls. Vanessa 22 text messages. Vanessa, I didn't read them all, but the preview text told the story of her morning in chronological order. 10:15 a.m. Where is the car? It's gone. Did you take it to the wash? 10:20 a.m. Mark, answer me. The car is stolen. I'm calling the police. 10:30 a.m. Why is my card declined? I'm at Starbucks and it's embarrassing. 10:45 a.m. Mark, pick up. My phone isn't making calls. I'm on Wi-Fi. WTF is happening? 11 a.m. I swear to God, if you are doing this because of what I said last night, you are psychotic. Then, the phone rang again. Unknown number. I knew who it was. She had borrowed a phone. Probably Sarah's, her best friend / enabler who lived in the complex. I took a deep breath. I didn't feel angry. I felt like a customer service representative handling a difficult client for the last time. "Hello. Are you insane?" Her voice was so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear. She was hyperventilating. "Mark, where's my car? Why is my phone off? I tried to buy coffee and my card didn't work. I'm standing here with Sarah and I look like an idiot." "Calm down," I said. My voice was dangerously low. "Don't tell me to calm down. You stole my car. I'm calling the cops." "It's not your car, Vanessa. It's my car. My name is on the lease. I repossessed it. It's safe." There was a stunned silence. "You took the car? How am I supposed to get to my nail appointment?" "Take an Uber." "Oh, wait. You can't. The credit card is canceled too." You canceled the cards?" Her voice cracked. The anger was shifting into fear. "Mark, stop it. This isn't funny. You're punishing me? This is abuse. You can't just cut me off. I have needs. You have needs." I repeated. "I thought you said I needed you." She stammered. I was mad. "I didn't mean it like that. You were very specific, Vanessa. You said, and I quote, 'Let's be honest, you need me more than I need you.' You said you bring the status and I just pay for the ticket." I was just, "You also said," I interrupted, cutting through her excuses, "that if I didn't behave properly, you would replace me. Do you remember that?" "Mark, please. I'm sorry, okay? Just turn the phone back on. I need to call my mom. I need to go to the appointment. Stop being a baby." She still didn't get it. She thought this was a timeout. She thought I was throwing a tantrum and would be back by dinner with flowers and an apology. "I'm not being a baby, Vanessa. I'm accepting your terms. I realized you were right. I was holding you back. You're a prize, remember? You're rare. You have 10 guys in your DMs who want to fund your lifestyle." "Mark, stop." She was crying now. "Where are you? When are you coming home?" "I'm not coming home," I said. "I went to the leasing office this morning. I paid the lease break fee. I'm off the contract." You have 30 days to sign a new lease in your name or vacate the premises. Brenda will be posting the notice on the door shortly. What? It was a whisper. I can't afford the rent. It's $3,200 a month. I know, but you said I was boring and average. You said you didn't need me. Surely a woman of your status doesn't need a boring, average guy to pay her rent. You can't do this to me, she screamed. The mask slipped completely. The boss babe was gone, replaced by a terrified child who realized the adults had left the room. You can't leave me with nothing. What am I supposed to do? I looked out the window of my office. The city looked bright. The weight on my chest was gone. You told me you'd replace me, I said, my voice flat and final. I'm just giving you a head start. Mark, please, find your replacement, Vanessa. I hung up. Then I blocked the number. I blocked Sarah's number. I blocked her Instagram, her TikTok, and her email. I stared at the phone for a second, waiting for the guilt. It never came. The silence that followed was the most expensive thing I'd ever bought, and it was worth every penny. I spent the next 2 weeks in a long-stay hotel while I looked for a new place. I expected to feel lonely. I expected to miss her. Instead, I felt like I had just taken off a backpack filled with bricks that I'd been carrying for 2 years. My phone battery lasted all day. My credit card statement was boringly low. I slept 8 hours a night. But the storm wasn't quite over. As expected, the flying monkeys arrived. 2 days after the breakup, I got a text from Sarah, Vanessa's best friend and chief enabler. She was the one who had convinced Vanessa that she was a high-value woman who deserved to be sponsored. Sarah, I can't believe you. You left her with nothing. She's at her parents' house crying her eyes out. You are a narcissist and a financial abuser. How can you sleep at night knowing you ruined her life? I looked at the text while eating a steak dinner I had paid for with the money that usually went to Vanessa's hair extensions. I didn't get angry. I just replied with facts. I didn't ruin her life, Sarah. I just stopped paying for it. She told me she could replace me easily because I was just a wallet. I'm simply letting her prove herself right. Sarah, she was just mad. You know she can't pay that rent alone. Then maybe she shouldn't have bitten the hand that was signing the checks. Good luck, Sarah. I blocked Sarah. Over the next few months, the full picture of Vanessa's replacement strategy trickled back to me through mutual acquaintances. It was a disaster. It turned out that the 10 guys in her DMs were exactly what I thought they were. Guys who wanted to sleep with her, not guys who wanted to pay a $3,200 lease for her. When she reached out to them for help, they ghosted. The sugar daddy types she thought she could land weren't interested in a 27-year-old with baggage and debt. They wanted 21-year-olds with zero expectations. She couldn't re-qualify for our apartment. She was evicted at the end of the 30 days. She had to move back in with her parents in the suburbs, a fate worse than death for an influencer. Her Instagram went quiet. It's hard to post #luxury life content from your childhood bedroom with a poster of a boy band still on the wall. Meanwhile, I thrived. I took the money I was saving, about $4,000 a month, and invested it. I hit the gym, not to get her back, but to get me back. I reconnected with friends I had neglected because Vanessa didn't like them. I started dating again, cautiously. I met a woman named Elena. She's a nurse. On our first date, she reached for the check. I almost cried. I paid, obviously, but the gesture alone healed something in me. 6 months later, I ran into Vanessa. It was a Sunday morning. I was at an upscale grocery store, picking up wine for a dinner party I was hosting. I turned the corner into the pasta aisle, and there she was. She looked different. She was still beautiful. Genetics don't disappear in 6 months, but the shine was gone. Her hair wasn't done. She wasn't wearing the designer boots. She was wearing generic sneakers. She looked tired. She was holding a basket with a frozen dinner and a bottle of cheap Pinot Grigio. She saw me and froze. Then, she quickly tried to fix her hair, straightening her posture. The old reflex. Mark, she said. Her voice was breathless, trying to sound surprised and delighted. Hey, Vanessa, I said. My voice was calm. My heart rate didn't even spike. I felt nothing. No anger, no love. Just indifference. Wow, she said, looking me up and down. I was wearing a fitted polo and looked fitter than I had in years. You look really good. Thanks. Life's been good. She shifted her weight, giving me that look, the one that used to make me apologize for things I didn't do. I miss you, you know. I've been thinking about us a lot. I just looked at her. I know I said some crazy things, she continued, stepping closer, entering my personal space. I was just stressed. I realized. I took you for granted. The guys out there? They're trash. They don't treat me like you did. She reached out and lightly touched my arm. Maybe we could get coffee? Catch up? I've grown a lot. I looked at her hand on my arm, then back at her eyes. I saw the calculation. She didn't miss me. She missed the Mercedes. She missed the apartment. She missed the safety. She had tried to find a replacement, realized the market value for entitled princess had crashed, and was trying to circle back to her safety school. I gently stepped back, breaking her contact. I don't think that's a good idea, Vanessa, I said. Her face fell. Why? You're still mad? Come on, Mark. You know we were good together. You need someone who challenges you. I laughed. A genuine, short chuckle. That's the thing, I said, channeling the realist. You were right that night. You said I needed you. Her eyes lit up. She thought she had me. See? I knew it. I needed you to show me exactly what I shouldn't tolerate. I corrected her. You taught me that my value isn't just my wallet. And once I learned that, I realized I didn't need you at all. Her smile vanished. I found a replacement, Vanessa, I said, gesturing vaguely to my life, my peace, my reality. And she doesn't cost me my self-respect. I grabbed the bottle of wine I needed from the shelf next to her. Good luck with the brand, I said. I walked away toward the checkout. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. I knew exactly what she looked like standing there, alone in the pasta aisle, realizing that the boring guy she tried to discard was the only one who had ever truly valued her, and she had sold him for a fantasy that didn't exist. I paid for my groceries and walked out into the sun. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.